When it comes to filling in for people, we hear this all the time, it's next man up mentality. For this D-core without Dougie, what are some of the ways that you all are going to help pick up some of the role he plays for this team?
Yeah, I think we, got to stick together. It sucks seeing Doug go down at a time like this. There's a lot of holes that we have to fill. I think Lukey will probably step in that offensive power play spot. And the rest of us, just got to play our game. Like, we can't try and be Doug. We got to be ourselves and, bring more of what we do to the game.
That last game, you guys really rallied and you brought a lot of heart. As you move forward, you have a game against Winnipeg tomorrow. You then have another game against Philadelphia. Some tough games. So what is this group really focusing on the messaging moving forward?
I think it's having the right intensity, the right level of togetherness, like we talked about earlier, like where we've lost a couple guys. So it's about coming together, being predictable, like 5 guys on the same page. And at a time like this, you got to rely on each other. And really, hockey's the ultimate team sport. And if we can kind of come together through this adversity, I think we could really get some good results here.
And the balance is just keeping a positive attitude. We saw out there everyone was having fun. It was still intense. It was still a physical and fast practice. But how important is it to still bring that joy every day? Yeah,
absolutely. I think those things go hand in hand. Kind of that competitiveness and that joy when you have both of those. I think I saw Steve Kerr or something say that. I think it's probably gone around the internet. But when you have both of those, then I think you can be a really good team.
Just looking down the stretch, obviously everything's getting more intense as the postseason kind of nears. 19 games left, a big chunk of those playing right here at home, and you guys have played well in the recent games here at home. So how are you guys going to view that and use it as an advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming off a long road trip here, it's obviously, you can get a little tired on the road, so being at home is definitely a reset, a refresher. We want to take care of home ice. Like you said, we've been doing a good job of that this year. So, it's about protecting our home ice and taking advantage of the time here.
You came up with Winnipeg, obviously. Seeing the year that they've had and some of the guys that you came up with, what do you think makes them as strong as they are, on top of the fact they got one of the best goalies in the league?
Yeah, obviously they have a great goalie, but I think they have a ton of depth. I think they do. Obviously, I came from that organization, but I know a big part of what they do is kind of the draft and develop. They don't really have a harder time attracting free agents and whatnot. So they're really, having guys come up through the minors and spending their time in the AHL. I know I was there for 3 years there. And there's a lot of focus on that development and not rushing, guys up. And I think you see, the results of that. They have a really deep team right now.
Of course, you don't want to lose any of your teammates, but this is an opportunity for a lot of guys to take on some more with their role. What are you expecting and what do you want to contribute in these next few games to kind of keep adding more to your role?
Yeah, obviously losing Jack is a big loss. That's times when, like you said, players need to step up and stuff. Last game, I thought we created a lot offensively with our line and just making sure, we finished some of those chances. We worked on it in practice today trying to score more goals, so hopefully now tomorrow we get a chance to try to do that.
It was just an opportunity to come back from a road trip and reset with this practice today, go over points that you guys want to emphasize, but how much is it staying together and keeping that joy and being able to still produce as a group, as one unit out there?
Yeah, 100%. Like, we all know we're here for a reason. Go out there, try to do our job, do whatever we can to help our team win. At the end of the day, we have these games coming up here towards the end of the season, and we want to make sure we pick up as many points as we can. And then, like I said, it's a big loss losing him, but with the group we have in here, we still believe in, know we're a confident group, and we want to make sure we give it our all out there.
With Winnipeg coming in, I know you guys haven't played them yet this year, but they're a team that's made a lot of noise in the league this year. What are some of the things that you guys have heard about Winnipeg going into this one?
Well, they obviously had pretty good record all season, had a great start. They're pretty hard, simple, quick team, and great goaltending back there, so it's going to be a lot of trying to get those pucks inside, create some opportunities there where we can get maybe some garbage goals in front of him, but obviously try not to give much up. They're scoring a lot, and they're a good team, two-way game, so we're going to have to give our best tomorrow.
Dawson, does anything change scheme-wise or strategy-wise minus Jack, knowing you're losing that type of playmaker, that type of goal scorer?
I think still play our game. Obviously the big loss for the goal side and the offensive, but we want to make sure that we can do what we can to try to fill that role and get as many pucks on that, put goals in. But the main thing is we want to just have more goals at the end of the night than the other team. And if that's a low-scoring game, it's a low-scoring game. And if not, if we score more goals, the better. So as long as we got more than them, it's a good sign for us.
What is the mindset of the team and the players? And I'm sure you guys have talked together, had meetings down the stretch here. 19 games left, minus Jack. Who knows how long for Hamilton and Siegs. What's the mindset, overall mindset?
Mindset is we still want to get as many wins as we can. Like I said earlier, we're a confident group. We're all here for a reason. We know what we can do. And, whichever guys we put in the lineup, we all know we're going to give it our all out there to give us the best chance to win. And that's really where our mindset is right now.
Is the goal playoffs?
I don't see why that would change.
Luke, when it just comes to the next man up mentality, I know Dougie is a big part of that. You're filling in a little bit more in his shoes, but how can this whole D-core come together to really make sure that there's no difference no matter who's in the lineup night after night?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you just got to do your job. So, the team needs guys to step up, and, we have a lot of injuries, and we need guys to just step up and do their job.
And just when it comes to the power play, what changes do you think that Seamus could bring as a quarterback as well?
Yeah, I've watched him for years, and really good distributor. He can move it to both sides very well, and he's got a really good sifter. So can throw some pucks in there, and he can score. So I'm excited to see what he does.
I know this can't be an easy situation or position for you to be in, Luke, but can you just kind of describe the thoughts knowing that, Jack won't be here for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, obviously very disappointing and sad for him, but, he's going to come back and he's going to be even better next year, and, stuff happens. So, there's bigger problems in the world, and, we're pretty lucky guys, and, everyone here in the organization is really proud of him, and he's a huge piece of our team and piece of the organization, and we're definitely going to miss him, but we just got to step up as a team and fill those shoes.
As hard as the situation this is this something you can maybe rally around as well? Because now you got to figure teams are thinking they're without Jack Hughes, they're done.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's our best player, and obviously a huge hole to fill, and we need guys to step up and kind of just rally together, and I think we played really good in Dallas as a team. Really proud of our guys for coming back and fighting to the end, and obviously not the result we wanted, but definitely an encouraging sight for our team, and just really proud of our guys on how we stepped up after that.
Can you give us any insight on how he's doing emotionally right now?
Yeah, he's doing good. I think obviously he's really disappointed, and he's a absolute competitor. So he wants to be out there with us every night, and he wants to be the best. And I think he's gut wrenched right now, but he's going to come back stronger. And we have a really good. He's got a lot of people around him that care about him and love him, and he's going to come back stronger and better next year.
And finally, for me, does anything change scheme-wise, strategy-wise, minus Jack, minus Dougie, minus Siegs?
Yeah, I think we just got to be tighter. Can't be giving up stuff, but other than that, I think it's line by line. You just got to know your role and play your game. So obviously, the fourth line's not going to be making the plays like the first line. So you just got to stick to your game and play your game and just be at your best every night.
In recent games, this team has really rallied at home and done really well, and the record, I think, is 8-4-1 in the last 13. What have you seen out of the growth of this group playing at home and being able to get those big points?
Yeah, I think at this point in the year, 19, 18 games left, I think we're in a hell of a race right now. So it doesn't matter if we're at home or on the road, but definitely fun to play at home in front of our crowd, and it's always a pleasure playing here. So we need a big game tomorrow, and we got to keep rolling here.
Speaking of that, they're one of the best teams defensively, one of the best teams offensively. How do you handle a team that brings it all over the ice?
We just got to stick to our game plan, and every line play their game, and come out and be at your best. Bring your A game. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but we had a good skate today, and I think we're ready to go tomorrow.
Sheldon, do you have an update on Dougie Hamilton?
I do not. Still being evaluated.
And just the loss of Jack and the loss of Dougie, the loss of Siegenthaler as well, a lot of people are going to have to step up. With this roster, we talked with a lot of players about they just want to come together as a team. What do you need to see from your group to be able to overcome different players on the ice so it doesn't even look like players are out of the lineup?
Yeah, we've been through it, right? We played with Nico for a while. We played without Markey. As you mentioned, we've been playing without Siegs. And our game the other night, to me, is an indication that we can compete with anybody. The guys do have to step up. We do have to play better and smarter as a team. But we keep charging ahead, and we've got good players, and we've got a good group that is going to fight. That's the one thing I learned the other night. We're gonna still compete, and we got other guys that are hungry to step up.
Although Timo wasn't on the score sheet for a stretch of the season, he was still doing a lot of things that were really good. And now that he's getting some more power play time at an elevated role, how can that even increase that production as well?
Well, yeah, he's going to get more touches. He's going to be counted on more and get more minutes that way. And the good thing is his game, even before Jack going out, was trending in the right direction. He had played some really good hockey on that road trip, and you could see him really starting to come on. So that's very positive for us. So he's a good example of a guy that certainly has more and is hungry to step up a little bit more in that role and take on those responsibilities. And already the puck started to fall for him a little bit more, so that's really positive. We need that from a few other guys, and doing that while our team game tightens up even more gives us a chance every night.
Hamilton's still being evaluated, but he's out tomorrow, correct?
He's out tomorrow, correct? Yeah.
And knowing you're out Dougie, you're out Siegs, now Jack. Does the scheme or strategy change at all? The way you need to play, or how do you view that?
I wouldn't say it's different. It just needs to be tighter. It needs to be more consistent. I don't think it really alter your strategy, especially with us being a team that has struggled to score. If we get too conservative or too defensive minded, it's going to become even more of a challenge. We've done a really good job as a team of keeping the puck out of our net, and that has to continue. In fact, get even better. As last game is an example, we got to 3, we scored 3. We should win that game. So keeping it out has been pretty consistent, whether it's been through our play or the combination with that and our goaltending. But I think we just. We have to recognize that it's going to be harder. You got to earn more offense. I mean, Jack's such a facilitator and a creator of offense. We're going to have to go about it a little differently in terms of earning the offense, forecheck pressure, puck pressure, tips, rebounds, those kind of things. But in terms of our strategy or anything like that, I don't see that changing. I don't see a need for it to change. As we saw the other night, we generated quite a bit through forecheck pressure, skating, and effort. And I thought we had a good game in that sense. We just gave up too many goals.
As tough a situation as this is, can this sometimes galvanize a group too, Sheldon?
Yeah, certainly, and that is what I saw the other night, which is why it's so disappointing and frankly just dejecting that we lost in the manner that we did after fighting our way back. And you can just imagine the vibes coming out of that game had we won that game, or even just getting a point out of it. So you leave dejected, yet I leave inspired by the effort that our guys put forth in that game, and just showed that, in Jack's absence and the news and the knowledge that he wasn't going to be with us again this season, at the end of a long road trip, our guys didn't fold, didn't go away throughout that game, and then even in the third period especially. Now you're down, guys don't fold and go away. They fight right to the end. So I left inspired and proud of our group in that way, but knowing that we've got to play a smarter game to manage it better.
Sean, following up on that, speaking of the dejection that the guys were feeling afterwards, is that something that you had to address with what you were saying here about how inspired you were with the way they played the last couple of days, or do you assume over a couple of days that these are professionals and they kind of get over it amongst them?
Well, I felt it enough that I went in and speak to the team after the game, which I rarely or never do after a loss. But I just felt I needed to go and speak to the team in that moment because I felt that we were dejected. Also, felt disappointed how we managed the game in that last 30 seconds or so. and some other moments throughout the game, and acknowledging that that's the difference between winning and losing. But it doesn't take away from the effort and the fight and the care that our group had. I mean, you just watch the reaction to it when we tied the game, see how invested our guys in. That's, as I say, inspiring for me, and I think for our whole group, and just hopefully for our fan base. Just shows that our guys are in this and going to continue to fight and continue to grow our game right to the very end.
What can you tell us about two-time Stanley Cup champ Brian Dumoulin?
I think he's obviously a veteran defenseman. You mentioned his experience with winning, and he's I think a reliable and consistent defender. He's got size and length, but also skates well and can move a puck well. I had been kind of digging in on him and watching him myself a little bit closer, just to really watch his game over the last few weeks, because Fitz has been working it for a while. So pretty comfortable thinking that he's gonna help our depth and give us another left-hand shot, which I think is really important at this particular time. So we're happy to be able to get that done.
Talking to Dawson today, kind of echoing the fact that across the board, just needing to score more goals, he said that was something they worked on in practice, and I asked him, what are those keys that he's working on? He said just taking more high probability shots, whether it's shooting off the pads, low blocker, to create rebounds if they don't go in. As a coach, are those things that you're kind of feeding into your forward group, or is it also just another fact that they just need to keep shooting and creating those chances?
We've been pretty deliberate about talking about it, showing video, just because chance generation hasn't necessarily been an issue for our team. Even lower in our lineup, we've had some looks. It's been more about the execution, the finish of our shots. So we've been deliberate about talking about that. We're not just kind of throwing our hands up and saying, eventually these got to go in. It's, we're working with our guys. We got them some extra touches here today. We kind of split the practice up and had 2 sessions today to give some guys more shots and more touches than they would get in a typical practice. So we're doing our best to try to help the guys. Like I said, I think we've done a pretty good job for the most part of getting the chances that we need to get to 3 goals. We just haven't been able to finish with enough regularity.
When are you expecting Brian to join the team?
They're working on that here now. It's obviously, it's a long ways away. I believe they're in Vancouver, or at least they were in Vancouver last night, and I think they're out that way. So they're working on it. They're doing the best. We're doing our best at this point to try to get him here to be available tomorrow.
And playoffs are still the main team goal here to reach playoffs.
Oh, without question. I mean, we're in a playoff position, and we expect to be in one when this is all said and done. We got some work ahead of us here, and the league is as tight as it's ever been. We gotta keep growing as a team and growing our game as we've evolved here now with Jack being out and some of the injuries that we're facing. So we're growing and evolving as a group, but the goal doesn't change, and that's again why I left inspired the other night, because the players made it very clear that they all want to be part of the solution to make sure that we keep just growing as a team and not take a step back.
And how's Siegenthaler doing?
He's getting better, but we still don't have a timeline exactly on what his situation is.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Yep.
Thank you.